Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my memory spread for the week of January 16th through the 22nd. And for this week, being as it is the week of Lunar New Year, I'm going to be using the Prosperity Kit from SPC, which looks a little something like this. And in case you guys are new here, I am a part of SPC's affiliate team, so you guys can use code Elisa10 to save on your next purchase. But anyways, this is what the kit looks like. I'm obsessed with it. This is definitely going to be a color blocking week for me. I mean, come on, those patterns are stunning. And then we have our bottom washi page. Love this full box right here. And then, of course, we have some extras as per usual. We have the freebie, which I'm definitely going to use. And then, of course, the doodles, because I cannot resist. And for this week, I'm going to be pairing the kit with the red foil. So the first thing I have are these Lunar New Year quotes from Planner Choco. And then I do have the Lunar New Year foil bundle from Caress Press, which you guys have seen on my channel before because I used this last year with my Lunar New Year spread, and I just had to pick it up again because it is absolute perfection. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and put down the base of the spread, and I'll be right back. Well, hello everyone. How has everyone been doing since the last time I talked to you? I think it was a week ago now that I uploaded my last video. I honestly don't know though because my uploading schedule is all over the place. I don't know what has been going on these past couple of weeks, but it's just been something else. I feel like it's been like one thing after another, and I just don't feel like myself, and I'm tired all the time. I haven't had time nor the motivation to sit down and film and record voiceovers and all that jazz. So this is like, honestly, this is like my 10th time trying to record this stupid voiceover, and I swear I'm on the verge of losing it. I'm just so over it. I just want to get to feeling like myself again. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I sped up this video just a little bit because it became very clear to me very quickly that I was not going to be able to do a 20-minute voiceover. So we're aiming for 14 minutes, and hopefully I can do that. But honestly, if this voiceover gets interrupted in any way, I think I'm just going to call it quits, and you guys may never see this video. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Like I said, I haven't been feeling like myself lately, and I'm just like so tired of like feeling this way. I'm going to be going to San Antonio next weekend to see my sister, and I'm hoping that is going to be like the reset that I need to get back to feeling like myself. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I will be back to like a schedule with my uploads because I hate not having a schedule. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Me and my sister were planning on going to like the river walk and things like that. But I think it's gonna be like super cold in Texas next week, so we'll see how that goes. It's also supposed to rain at least some of the week, so I don't even know. But I definitely need to get out of this house and have something to do because I just hate feeling this way. But anyways, on to like the actual video. I was originally going to try and answer some questions while putting down the base of the spread, but I'm going to hang on to those for next week. Thank you to those of you that asked me questions, but I'm going to hang on to those for next week, and I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about this week because it was just something else. Firstly, we'll start with like some good events that happened. Firstly, first let's talk about the new episode of The Last of Us, because that episode, that was the last thing I did on Sunday to end my week, and I feel like I have to talk about it now because otherwise I'm not going to have time to talk about it at the end of this video. This episode, I'm so impressed with the way that the show is going. I think I talked about it in my last Playing With Me. I have never personally played the Last of Us game, but I'm very familiar with the game. I've seen gameplay. I've been around people when they played it. So I feel like I have like a pretty good concept of what to expect. And this episode in particular, if you guys look up like gameplay of this episode, it is spot on. I mean, it is So good. We got our first like close-up look at the clickers, which are disgusting. If you guys aren't familiar with The Last of Us, their quote unquote zombies go through different phases. So like the phase that we saw in the very first episode were runners, so they still look like people. They just have disgusting fungus coming out of their mouth. And then and that at the end of this episode, we got the stalkers, which still look like people, but they have like some fungus growing out of their heads. And then we have the clickers, which don't really look like people anymore. They cannot see because of how much fungus has grown out of them. And then the fourth stage, I don't want to say it incorrectly, but I think the show is changing up the fourth phase of the zombies, so I don't want to say it incorrectly, so I'm just gonna skip it. But there is a fourth phase. But yeah, the clickers were very impressive this episode. I loved everything about that whole museum scene. And then the end of the episode, they did make some changes from the video game to the show in regards to Tess. And I have to say, I much prefer what they did in the show than the video game. I think it was phenomenal. I will say that one scene, and if you guys saw the episode, you know what scene I'm talking about. That scene with Tess and the stalker was just not it. It was disgusting. I was very uncomfortable, and I hope to never see that ever again during the show because that is not in the video games. That has never once happened in the video games. I have no idea what they were going for with that scene, but I could have gone my entire life without seeing that. But anyways, I'm, like I said, very impressed with where the show is going, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the season. I'm so excited. You guys know I'm a sucker for zombie anything, so yeah. But also this week, I finally, after living full-time in Waco for, I don't know, over a month now, I finally renewed my library card. I don't know what has taken me so long to do this. When I lived in Waco full-time, a couple of years ago, I had my library card. I used it a lot, and I just let it expire once I transferred schools, and it's taken me this long to finally renew it. And I'm very happy I did. I left the library with quite a few books the first day I went. And I have to say, my mom is also very excited that I have my library card because she's a movie girl. Like, she loves a good movie. And I used to go to the library like every Friday and pick up a couple of DVDs for her to watch over the weekend while she was home from work. So she's very excited that I get to do that for her. She will, request some DVDs, and I'll see if the library has them, and I'll put them on hold and stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I pretty much picked up everything I needed for like my February TBR for the most part. I'm going for a very romance heavy week, or month I should say, of course, so I'm very excited about that. But anyways, also this week, my sister was in town for most of the week. So she ended up coming into town, I think, on Tuesday of this week, and she was leaving on Thursday. But while she was here, those couple of days, she got a call from her boss saying that she was approved for some PTO that she had requested weeks ago. So she left on Thursday because she had to work all day on Friday, but then she was back in town on Saturday, and she actually left today, Wednesday, the day that this video is hopefully going to go up. So she was in town pretty much this entire week, minus Monday and Friday, which was super nice. And the second time she came into town on Saturday, that led to some interesting things happening. So she lives in San Antonio, which is 3 hours away from Waco. So she drove 3.5 hours, or yeah, 3 hours, yes, to Waco Saturday. And once she was here, she realized that she forgot her wallet. How does that happen? I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm the type of person that double checks, triple checks every single bag. It doesn't matter if I'm going an hour away or 10 hours away. I always triple check everything I pack to make sure something like this does not happen. So she ended up driving 3 hours to Waco without her license. She did not have her debit card or credit card, which is like her only means of paying for anything while she was here. And she had plans to go out and stuff all week while she was here. She left it in San Antonio. So I helped her unpack her car, all that jazz, and then I went back to my room because I was gonna take a nap because again, I haven't been like here 100% mentally, so I was gonna take a nap. And I thought she was too because she normally takes a nap after driving to Waco always. But she ended up calling my mom and telling her what happened. And about 5 minutes after she hangs up with my mom, I get a call from her. And she was like, "Did your sister tell you what she did?" And I said, "She sure did." And my mom was like, "How do you feel about a weekend trip to San Antonio?" And I said, "Excuse me?" Yeah. My mom and my sister wanted me to drive 3 hours to San Antonio to pick up her wallet and drive back to Waco. And I originally said no, absolutely not. I'm not wasting gas. I'm gonna be going. We had already planned for me to go to San Antonio next week. So I was like, I don't want to drive 6 hours round trip twice within a week. So I said no. I said she's just gonna be SOL while she's here. She can borrow cash from you if she wants, but she also wanted to drink and go out, so she didn't have her license for that. So I was like, she's just gonna have to figure something else out because that is just not gonna happen. So I hung up with my mother, and she had obviously called my sister and told her what I said, and my sister comes into my room and she's like, I will pay you to go to San Antonio and pick up my wallet. So, being the broke bitch that I am, I packed up a bag and I drove 3 hours to San Antonio Saturday afternoon. I just, I still can't believe that they ended up convincing me to do that, but I took advantage of it. I was in San Antonio for maybe 14 hours max, but I made sure to take advantage of that. So normally when I go to San Antonio, I have Winnie with me because I think I talked about it. Winnie has severe anxiety, so I have to take her with me anytime I go out of town, unless it's over a weekend and my mom is home because my mom is like the only person. My mom and my sister are the only two people that Winnie will tolerate. She will not do anything with my dad. She will not go potty with him, will not eat food from him, nothing. So, because my sister and my mom were in town, I left Winnie here and I was able to actually make a few pit stops on the way. So, that was super nice. So, on my way to San Antonio, firstly, I was able to finish my audiobook, which was super nice, but I stopped at Buc-ee's on the way there because if you guys aren't familiar, Buc-ee's is like a huge like Texas gas station, like hundreds of things. Like the bathrooms are super clean and they have dozens upon dozens of pumps, food. It's like a brick and mortar store too. Like it's fantastic. And one thing I always do at Buc-ee's is get their t-shirts. I have quite a large collection of Buc-ee's t-shirts. So I stopped at Buc-ee's and I made my sister buy me the Valentine's Day and the Mardi Gras shirts from Buc-ee's. So that was going to be my payment for going to San Antonio. So I was really excited about that. And then I stayed in my sister's apartment by myself, which I did not like. I was very stressed out. I do not like being in her apartment by myself. But I did that. On my way back, I figured, you know what? I'm driving through Austin. Haven't been to Austin by myself in a very long time, so I stopped at Book People on the way back to Waco, which was super nice. I got a few things. Book People is my favorite indie bookstore that I've ever been to. I went quite frequently when I was living in Austin, but it was super nice. There was a marathon going on in downtown Austin that I didn't know about. It was super easy to get to Book People, but it took me a good like 30 minutes to get out of Austin because every single road was closed and I was making circles. It was a nightmare, but I did end up taking advantage of my trip to San Antonio and it ended up working out. I got to do things I normally don't get to do whenever I drive to San Antonio, so yeah, I'm okay with it. I was annoyed at first, but it ended up being an okay trip, so yeah. Anyways, that is it for this plan with me. Again, sorry it's all over the place and whatnot, but I will make sure to link all of the shops featured in the video in the description box down below for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!